All right, what up, Who That Nation? This is No Cap, No Filter Saints. I'm your host, Marley G. And I'm going to go ahead on and get into this Saints Jaguars game preview and just a few closing thoughts I have, on what's going on in the season so far. But let's go ahead on and get into this Thursday night matchup. The Saints take on the Jaguars in a Thursday night game. I think we have the advantage. We're going to be home. It's hard for teams to travel on the road playing on Thursday, especially when your starting quarterback is, unsure if he's going to play or not. So it's kind of like if he does play, he's not going to be 100%. If he doesn't play, we're going to have to deal with the backup. And maybe the backup may have some communication errors with his receivers, like we having communication errors with our receivers in this week 6, and that's our whole starter. But I'm going to go ahead on and talk about the offense. They got Trevor Lawrence. Everybody was expecting Trevor Lawrence to take that next big step. Everybody was thinking like, okay, well, he got Calvin Ridley. He got Doug Peterson. He should be taking that next big step and just turn into this, turning it up a notch to another tier, like how Jalen Hurts did when he had got A.J. Brown. People was expecting the same thing with Justin Fields when he got DJ Moore. Like when you get a top wide receiver, like a real notable wide receiver one, and you a young quarterback, that could be very, instrumental to his success. But I don't think Trevor Lawrence stepped into that yet. I don't think Trevor Lawrence had just taken that next step, into that upper echelon of top tier quarterback. And I hope he don't, show that versus the Saints. Usually when quarterbacks are, they're in like a little run of a little few games, they gonna show their ass versus the Saints. And sometimes running backs does it too. But hopefully that don't be the case, especially him, gonna be playing through this injury most likely. He's not gonna be having Zay Jones. He's gonna have Calvin Ridley, who we familiar with. He's been out of the league for a few years, but at the same time, we still kind of know his tendencies playing him in Atlanta all those years. They might use him a little differently, but at the same time, Marshawn Lattimore still knows his tendencies and what he likes to do when he breaks off his route. I think that's going to be a matchup that Marshawn Lattimore really steps up for. That's just me. When Marshawn goes against these top receivers, Marshawn, he brings his lunch. He brings his lunchbox to the game. He brings his hard hat to the game. It's the receivers that just haven't got the notability that you got to worry about Marshawn for, which is sad because you want him to take that next step into that next echelon of respectable cornerbacks around the league. They have Evan Ingram. He's a pretty athletic tight end. Everybody was thinking he was going to take it that next step, but once again, he hasn't took that next step, but he's pretty solid. Dalton Schultz had some success versus our defense. He scored a tutty. He made some real chain-moving catches versus our defense. So hopefully we could have a better game plan at stopping a tight end. Demario Davis, he might not play this game. So we might see Zach Bond starting, and we might elevate Jalen Smith. Who knows? Who knows if Jalen Smith will start over Zach Bond, if Zach Bond is going to... Who knows if Jalen Smith would be starting over Zach Bond if DeMario can't go. But I doubt that. I really expect DeMario to play. I really do. Like, we never see Mario just miss a game. When he does play, he might be a little limited. So that kind of worries me because we never just see DeMario on the injury report like this. They have Christian Kirk. He's a pretty solid wide receiver too, in my opinion. We're going to have to really stop these crossing routes. I don't know why we can't stop crossing routes, but they really getting the best of us on our cornerbacks. Hopefully Adebo could really lock in. I don't think Adebo going to be with this team next year. I think they're going to make him expendable, and I think they're going to just put Alante on that outside, opposite Marshawn Lattimore, and they're going to just try to find another slot. That's what I think they're going to do. Adebo is a pretty solid cornerback. Once he gets his hand on the ball, he could catch an intercept, but his kryptonite is flags, man. When the team need a play, in a huge moment in the fourth quarter, it seemed like they always go into 29. He gotta stop that. He can't be giving up these crucial flags, man. They just send a wide receiver on the fly route and just say, go. You're either gonna catch the ball or this 29 is gonna going to draw a flag, and it's just backbreaking. Like, we're leading the league in defensive pass interference, and with our defense, we shouldn't have that. And I think a lot of that has to do with us not generating enough pass rush. Carl Granderson can't do it all by himself. We really desperately missing Peyton Turner. He really needs to get back in the rotation, and the trade deadline is coming up soon. I think we need to just go grab another pass rusher. Probably gonna need some help with offensive line too, but the way offensive line looking around the league, nobody trying to give up their offensive lineman. So it's really good to have Pete right now. They have that ace in the hole. A lot of people wanted Pete gone, but I said, man, we probably gonna need Pete to be the ace in the hole, because it's only gonna be a matter of time before the offensive line start catching injuries, which they are now. And Pete be in and out the injury report his damn self still. So Pete gonna Pete, like they say. But I think Christian Kirk, he's a pretty solid wide receiver number 2. And they running back is a pretty dynamic running back, Etienne. Like, he could do it all. He could catch up the backfield. He could run it between the tackles. He's a really solid running back. But I feel like our defense could shut that down, especially after that first half of the Texans. Like, I think they're going to really double down on stopping that run to make the Jaguars one-dimensional. Another good thing is I don't think Trevor Lawrence could just scramble on us like that because of the injury he's dealing with. I think they're going to be real cautious, and they're just going to let him really just sit back in the pocket. C.J. Stroud, he ain't really just impressed me that much playing us. They weren't really doing anything special. They were just running the ball good in the first half, and they did some good crossing routes on us. That was just getting us. Like, it wasn't really, never really anything, just spectacular to me. And in the second half, we adjusted and only held them to 3 points. You can't ask for anything better than that. The offense just got to go out there and go play complimentary ball. When it comes to that defense, I feel like we got to definitely watch Trayvon Walker. Like, he's somebody on their defensive line that could really get after it. Our offensive line is in shambles right now. We got Hurst out. We have Ramczyk out. I don't know what they're going to do with Penning and Pete and where they're going to line them up. I don't know if they're going to just have Pete playing left guard and have Penning play left tackle and just going to have to find somebody to play right guard because Landon Young is out as well. I don't know if they're going to have to call somebody up off the couch like that one player was. This reminded me of the Miami Dolphins game that last year Sean had, when we had Ian Book out there and we just had people just right up the couch. Like we had people in the locker room just meeting each other like, oh, you got called up too? Or they called me too. Remind me of that episode of Boy when he was like, they called me. But, yeah, man, we're just going to have a makeshift O-line out there. It's like, I don't know what it is about these Miami teams coming to the Dome on prime time, but we can't get it right when it comes to our O-line. But I feel like we're going to definitely have to do a good job blocking Trayvon Walker, opening up some running lanes, giving Derek Carr some time. And the main thing we're going to have to worry about is Josh Allen. No, we're not playing the Bills. You heard me. Josh Allen. They have a defensive lineman named Josh Allen, and this dude, like, over the past few seasons, he's been getting like 7 sacks. It's 6 weeks into the season right now, 7 weeks into the season, and he already has 7 sacks. So he's turning up. A lot of people, I've been talking about a lot of people on this episode saying, oh, take that next step and bring it to that next echelon of tier of where they at in their position. Josh Allen, he's doing that. He's doing that this year. So we definitely going to have to make a game plan stopping him. I don't know if they're going to line him up on the left side. That means Penning going to have to block him. Oh, my God. I don't know if they're going to have to line him up I don't know if they're going to line him up on the right side. That means whoever we're going to have right tackle, he's going to have to block him. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what game plan they use to attack our offensive line with Josh Allen. Either way it go, I think it's a dude that definitely needs to be double teamed. When it comes to their defense, they're pretty stout at stopping the run. Like, they can stop the run. So I don't expect AK to have a huge game. They have some good linebackers. I don't expect AK to have a good game like that. But when it comes to the defense, they cannot stop the pass good. So maybe we can have success with our wide receivers if we're communicating right. If we get enough time for Derek Carr. That's a big if, though. That's a big if. It's going to be interesting to see Doug Peterson go against Dennis Allen, the same Doug Peterson that they had on a Zoom call. I'm pretty sure he remembers that. Let him get up out the building. That's actually the head coach that I wanted to have be the head coach. But when they went with Dennis Allen, I gave him the benefit of the doubt because he has earned another chance to be a head coach because he was just such an amazing defensive coordinator. When you do an amazing job as a coordinator, you earn the credibility for, getting a head coaching job. That's just how it goes in the NFL. And he was in-house, but I still wanted Doug Peterson just for the simple fact that he took that Eagles roster to the Super Bowl. And the Eagles had a good roster, but at the same time, he did it with a starting quarterback that was playing at the MVP level was injured, and he took him still with Nick Foles. Like, that was impressive to me. I really feel like Doug Peterson gonna have it on his mind, like, oh, you guys passed on me, didn't even give me enough respect to bring me in to have a face-to-face interview. Now maybe the Zoom interview was beneficial for both parties at the time. Maybe it was something that was just best for both parties. I don't know, but if they didn't bring this guy in face-to-face when they could have had a chance, that's just a slap in the face. So I'm pretty sure Doug gonna have that on his mind. He gonna have his players ready, but when it does comes to the defense, they really bad when it comes to the wide receivers. Like, they do good at stopping the run, but when it comes to the pass, if Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker don't get there, you really could slice up their defense with their cornerbacks and their safeties. So as long as our wide receivers is on communication with each other, and Derek Carr, because I just think it's a lot of miscommunication getting lost in translation from Pete Carmichael calling the play, getting to Derek Carr, and Derek Carr getting the play to the O-line and the wide receivers. I think it's mistranslation. It's miscommunication coming in within that translation. So it's a short week. I don't think we're going to be able to clean up all of that, but hopefully we can clean up enough just to get the win. I think the defense really got to come out and hold this team under 20. I really feel like in order to beat this team, we're going to have to at least put up 17 or 20 points. Hopefully the defense can hold them to like 14. But if we can't get past 17 points in this game, we definitely going to lose this game. Like, it ain't no other way around it. Like, Blake Grupe, he's definitely going to have to make his kicks. Lou Haley definitely going to have to put the defense in good field position with his kicks. Like, he's definitely going to have to pin these guys down up in the 20-yard line. Another thing, we have Tyrann Mathieu. He might be out. Lonnie Johnson, I think he's out. So we're gonna see a lot more of the rookie safety we got, Jordan Howden. We're gonna see a lot more of him. Marcus May, he should be a full go. The injuries, man, are pretty critical this game right now. So we're going to have to see how we overcome that. It's a short week. A lot of these veterans are taking rest days, like Jimmy Graham, which, Jimmy Graham is not even a starter, so I'm kind of okay with that. But you don't want to see these guys taking rest days. Ramczyk take a lot of rest days. I don't know if that has anything to do with they being precautious on his injury that he's playing through or his knee issue that he's playing with, but I was listening to Scott Shanley on Matt Moscona's show, and he was saying, man, we ain't really just take no off days unless you was hurt. Like, what you do in practice going to represent on the field. And I just think that what we do in practice is not enough. I think a lot of guys are just leaving when practice are up. I think a lot of guys are showing up late. I think a lot of guys not watching film out. I think a lot of guys are not going hard and going after it in practice. And the NFL has stepped in and said, yeah, we don't want players going that hard on practice, which is a representation of why a lot of offensive lines across the league don't be looking that good in the first couple of weeks because, they cut practice more short, or they say they can't, be going after it as far as tackling in practice and all that like that. The practice landscape has changed from now than when it was 10, 15 years ago. So I think that being that, they're going a little bit more softer, but at the same time, if you want to just get better results on the field, at least hold practice more longer. Stop taking these rest days with these veterans. Like, if Ramczyk want to perform better, he needs to practice more. He can't be taking every uh veteran day rest every week. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a few weeks here and there, then yeah, take your rest day. But more often than not, you gotta be out there. And it's showing on the field that we're not being as serious in practice. It's showing on the field that we're not being as serious in these film rooms, in these meetings. So I really feel like we need to really take a more serious approach for this Thursday night game, because we're a 3-3 team, but it feel like we're a 1-5 team. Like that, it just feel like the sky is falling and we just about to take a turn for the worse. That's how this feels. Like everybody just feel like, oh, it's about to be a repeat of last year. And I want to make this very clear. Hindsight is 2020. I watch a lot of Matt Moscona, and I disagree, man. I think when you got a chance to win, you win. I don't think you should just go ahead and rebuild. Like, it's two types of fans. There's one fan that want to lose in order to rebuild and want to just get away from these quote unquote aging players and just start all over from scratch as far as the roster and as far as the management. Me, I disagree. I think when you got a chance to win, you win. Hindsight is 2020. A lot of people felt like, okay, yeah, we got Derek Carr. That's the guy who Dennis Allen won. That's the guy who Pete Carmichael won. So things should be running more efficient from the quarterback position. They got their guy. That's big. That's huge when you get your guy. It's a guy that Michael Thomas lobbied for. They got their guy. The offensive line, everybody was pretty healthy throughout the first few weeks. But, Penn was just that only sore thumb in the offensive line. So when it comes to health, we was relatively healthy. Like, to me, we dealing with injuries like everybody else, but the injuries that we sustained wasn't enough that I said, damn, we just not healthy enough to win these games because we ain't got the players that we counting on out there. Like, a lot of players that we counting on are out there. So when it comes to health, we got the health. We got the QB. You got your coaching staff who you wanted up in here. You brought in Woods, who's doing a good job, I might say. Still got to get these cornerbacks turning their head around and stop being too handsy. But other than that, Woods is doing a good job. We got what I was about to say. Oh, yeah, the schedule. The schedule is in our favor. Not only do we got an easy schedule, we catching these teams at the right time. We might not play Justin Jefferson. We're not going to play Anthony Richardson. We got Trevor Lawrence, and he's going to play not 100%. Who knows if Justin Fields going to play when we play him? Like, not only do we got a weak schedule, a lot of the players that we kind of feared on the weak schedule, not even playing. And if they're not going to be 100%. So it's like, man, what more do you want? You got everything lined up for you on a silver platter, and you still can't do it because you're that incompetent. Incompetence is what's killing us. And I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, man, any given Sunday, man, there's no such thing as a weak schedule. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You know damn well you got a better chance at beating the Panthers than beating the 49ers. I don't want to hear that. Miss me with that. Yeah, you got to go out there and you got to go beat the Panthers. You got to go show them that, you're 0-16, but you about to be 0-7. Yeah, you still got to go out there and compete. But if you was to ask somebody which one you got a better chance at winning, you're going to say you got a better chance at beating the Panthers than the 49ers. So miss me with that, oh, man, there's no such thing as a weak schedule. Yes, we got a weak schedule. If you can't win this division and with this schedule you got, that's all the evidence you need to know. Like, we should have just, the proof was in the pudding last year when we couldn't beat Sam Darnold and we couldn't beat Baker Mayfield with their QB ratings. How you lose games like that? How? The Packers game, how do you lose a game like that? All you needed was a few first downs. Damn a field goal, damn a touchdown. You just needed a few first downs to put that game away. You couldn't get the first downs. How you lose a game when you get an interception, two turnovers on fourth down, and a punt return? That's gimmies. And you still lose. Up by 17. And they had plenty of injuries. Incompetence. Incompetence. Hindsight is 2020. Anybody could say, "Oh yeah, man, I knew it wasn't gonna work." Cause this, like, man, you, we had a chance to go ahead on and run this, man. We had a chance to go ahead on and run this. The NFC was wide open. The NFC was wide open. Outside of Dallas and the 49ers and Philly, the NFC was wide open. I felt like we could have been that fourth team. But now it's looking like the Lions. The fifth team looking like the Seahawks. You know? We'd be lucky if we make the playoffs. But once again, our division ain't all that. So we make the playoffs, anything can happen. It ain't like we're going to have to play the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the 49ers in the playoffs. One of them teams going to get knocked off by somebody, or one of them teams going to knock off each other. Anything can happen once you make the playoffs. But I still want Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael going whether we make the playoffs or not. Now we make the Super Bowl, that's wishful thinking. But at the same time, other than that, I want them out. And everybody saying they want Mickey out, be careful what you wish for. Because another GM could come up in here and just tear everything down for the worse. I like that we in contention every year. We just got to hope, we do good with injuries. We just got to hope that the quarterback and the offensive coordinator could just play up the par. Now, by our defense being so good, I'm willing to sacrifice Dennis Allen not being on this, roster, or not the roster, not being on this coaching staff, and our defense take a hit because our defense is so good. I just want an offensive-minded head coach. If we get an offensive-minded head coach as an actual head coach, and he's offensive-minded where he could call the plays, we killing two birds with one stone right there. Now the defensive coordinator just got to be competent with this good roster. And one more thing before I get out of here. Everybody talking about we got aging players. Aging players. Man, Marshall Lattimore is in a prime in his career for a cornerback. He still got a good 3 years of prime left in him. Cam Jordan, yes, he on his way out the door, but we been needed to replace Cam Jordan anyway. DD, yeah, he on his way out the door, but we been need to replace him anyway. At least we got Pete Warner. At least we got Carl Granderson. At least we got Alante Taylor. At least we got Paulson Adebo, who, like I said, I don't think he's going to be here next year. You go to safety, you got Marcus May, you got Tyrann Mathieu. At least we got Jordan Howden. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Lonnie Johnson. We got aging players. Alvin Kamara's still good to me. He got another good 3 years left. It's just we got to get a better offensive coordinator and a better O-line. Still got Kendrick Miller behind him. We got aging players. We got Michael Thomas up. I don't think he's going to be here next year, but look, we got Olave and we got Rashid Shaheed. Granted, I wanted Hunter Renfrow so he could bring some chemistry with Derek Carr and help out in the red zone because I knew Derek Carr red zone numbers wasn't good, but it's still good to have these two young people. We got Jimmy Graham. He's an agent player. Jawan Johnson been hurt. Foster Moreau, he been in and out the lineup, but he pretty solid. Both of these guys are young. Trevor Penning, he's still young. Maybe he could turn it around like Cesar Ruiz. Ruiz young. McCoy young. Ram, he getting up out of here, but we been needed to replace Ram. Anyway. So I'm not buying into this aging player stuff. Now, quarterback, yeah, I do want us to get another quarterback and take the Titans route. We already got Jake Haener. We need to draft a quarterback this draft. Get another head coach. He could pick his quarterback and let those two guys compete with each other and sit behind Derek Carr for like a year. Just like they're doing with Willis and Levis behind Tannehill. But let me know down in the comment section below what y'all think about the preview, who y'all got. Y'all got the Saints, y'all got the Jags, and let me know y'all closing thoughts on just how the season going and where y'all think we're gonna go from here.